Ballpark has also been linked to my walkways.
The most unique part of Lahore is its cultural heritage. And there also the specific spot where the Lahore Fort is located. If you look at it and you draw a compass, just half a kilometer around it, it is so densely converged with the historic monuments, which are world-class monuments.
Every day, I welcome my visitors and allure them with my grandeur and charismatic vistas. It shows my determination, courage, and liveliness. Today, again, I am being able to reflect a culture and heritage. One can see the glimpse.
You are
Hello and Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to PTV World with the headlines for this hour. I'm Farooq Fayaz. Prime Minister Imran Khan expresses the government's resolve to provide protective gear to health professionals on priority basis in their fight against corona pandemic. Prime Minister Imran Khan directs to make Corona Tiger Force active at provincial level, expresses optimism that youth will demonstrate national spirit in this hour of need. President Dr. Arif Alvi directs the relevant quarters to take necessary measures to enhance internet connectivity so that students could continue their education uninterrupted. One fatality reported from coronavirus in Pakistan in the last 24 hours, taking the death toll to 51, with a total 3,505 confirmed infections. Coronavirus reaches almost every corner of the planet, confines nearly half of humanity to their homes, and claimed more than 73,000 victims. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who diagnosed with coronavirus late last month, moved to an intensive care unit after his condition worsened. And 25 Malian soldiers killed and 6 others injured in a terrorist attack in the latest bout of violence to hit the war-torn West African state. Those were the top stories for this hour. For more details and live streaming, you can visit our website, world.ptv.com.pk. It's goodbye from the news studio.
Basic education is the right of every child. Today, some 168 million children are in child labor, deprived of education. Every child, without discrimination, deserves access to a quality education. Basic education is the right of every child.
Just like the billboard paintings performed in Pakistan, there is another indigenous form of art performed in Pakistan, and it is the truck art. With its all-colorful floral patterns, depiction of human heroes with creative aspects, ratios, calligraphy of poetic verse, and drivers' words of wisdom. This form of art is truly a part of Pakistani transport tradition. Many trucks and buses in Pakistan are highly customized and decorated by their owners. These adjourned vehicles are considered as moving art or jingle art. Because of their unique decor style, these vehicles are quite distinct in layers from other trucks around the world. Each part of the vehicle is decorated differently, with variations depending on the regional style. In Pakistan, a truck driver, owner, usually pays $3,000 to $5,000 for their vehicle's external decoration. The art embellishes such trucks according to the particular tastes of the driver. Nearly every city in Pakistan has a unique decor. The Balochistani and Peshawari trucks are heavily trimmed with wood. Rawalpindi and Islamabad trucks have permanently featured plastic work. Camel-borne ornamentation is commonly seen in trucks decorated by Sindh artists. These trucks are also representative of different local, historical, and cultural regions of Pakistan. Thus, these trucks are also representative of different historical and cultural regions of Pakistan, the enchanting arts and crafts of Pakistan.
You are watching PTV World. You are watching PTV World.
Hello, assalamu alaikum. Good morning, Khushamdi. Ji ayanu, goeiemorgen.
Bakhair Agile, Ni Hao, Churashume, Washwale, Ohio, Genzaimis, Guten Morgen, Hola, Boyor, Privyet, Kaifa Hal, Hale Shuma Chutore, Ahlan Wasalan Maraba, Buna, Mucho, Gracias, Swavika, and a very amazing good morning to everybody who's tuned in to PTV World and are watching World this morning alongside the very fantastic Shiza Hashmi and Shahzad Khan. Hello, Shiza. How are you doing today?
Thank you so much for asking. I'm doing absolutely great. What about you?
Well, I think I'm feeling great too as well. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, obviously there's always a thought. And my heart goes out to all of those people who are actually fighting against COVID-19 as well. And not just those people who are actually suffering from that, but their family members as well. And we hope and pray that you're looking after yourselves in these times of distress as well. Please make sure to look after your loved ones. And please make sure that you do not put your loved ones into risk by going out and meeting other people.
Exactly, and Shazad, I think you did wrap up quite well this sentence as well. When you say you have to take care of your family members and your friends and everything, and that starts by literally staying at home. So please do that. I mean, we do see a lot of sort of memes going around on internet as well, how people are sick of staying at home because it's so boring and whatnot. There's one job that you have to do, and that is literally just, you know, do everything from the expense of your own bed, from the expense of your own sofa and your TV lounge. I mean, that's all we require of you, so I really hope you all are complying to it as well.
Exactly, that's great. Thank you very much, Shiza, for saying that as well. And ladies and gentlemen, I think that life has actually taught all of us a new lesson, and that lesson is that for all of those people who actually always wanted to go to restaurants, I mean, it's fine. Everybody should go to a restaurant, and it's perfectly all right as well. But I think that life has taught us that, you know, wearing all of those brands, going to all of these restaurants, going to some expensive five-star hotels, or going for a vacation is not that important when your life is in danger. And I think everybody needs to realize that as well. But not just that, ladies and gentlemen, I think there's always an element of hope. And for people to be hopeful is something which will actually show us the silver lining in the sky.
Hope is a beautiful thing, Shazad, you know, because of course pandemics have been there throughout the, well, I want to say almost in every century. People have been facing such things, but hope is such a beautiful thing because when you cling on to it, it is going to get you out of situations that you never even imagined you could manage. And this is what I'm sort of looking forward to. You know, Shazad and I don't mean to sort of, you know, create a hysteria or create panic, especially early in the morning for all of you guys, but we love to share information and the latest stats with you, but also, you know, we love to keep recognizing the fact that we need to be hopeful of the future as well. Speaking of hope in the current situation, Shazad, I mean, it's hopeful for the people of Italy and Spain as well, because for the previous 3 days, there's been a decline in the mortality rate, which is, well, fingers crossed, very good to look at, considering what has been going on there for so long.
Exactly. Thank you very much for saying that. But ladies and gentlemen, this is not how it looks for Pakistan as well. The new number of cases is coming and it's increasing as well. So I think we really need to be more careful. I've heard people saying, oh, you know, there are no more cases in Islamabad, or there are no more cases in our city as well. So you will never know. Because just to see this microbe, ladies and gentlemen, you'll actually have to zoom in 80,000 times to see what it looks like. So please make sure to be safe. And then there's this other campaign which is going on social media as well. And I think that it is having an impact on people, where people are actually telling people to stay away from positive people. I mean, so imagine that we are in a time when we are being told to stay away from positive mindsets. It's not that. I think that people have taken it totally wrong, and it's all because of the fact that, you know, for all of those people who are very positive in their energy or within the life or within the kind of work they do, they can actually be very harmful for you. And it's because of the fact that they might not take this pandemic seriously, go out or probably even chill with you or have a barbecue with you, and still can infect you. Now, just to let you know, ladies and gentlemen, with every disease, there's this R-rated thing, which means R0 means that you are not going to give this particular disease to anybody else. With influenza, it's R2. So you are more likely to give it to 2 more people, but with coronavirus, it's R6. So you can pretty much imagine that how deadly it can be, and you can be spreading it to your loved ones, parents, or anybody around you if you have been with that positive person who told you nothing's going to happen. See, I told you. So please don't take that risk. But then at the end of the day, you have to be positive by being at home. I think that it's about time that everybody needs to pray. I'm very happy that for the last 20 days I've been praying 5 times a day.
Oh, mashallah.
And that I've been asking for Allah's mercy as well. But not just that, I think that it has helped me evolve as a Muslim, not just a person. Everybody is evolved as a person, but everybody needs to evolve as a Muslim. Faith restored. I think these are the things which people need to do.
Exactly. That's beautiful, Shazad. Thank you so much for sharing that information with me too, because I didn't know about the R6 thingy, to be honest. And, you know, speaking of faith, yes, it does strengthen, you know, especially in hard times. But since there are, you know, a lot of hard times going on for a lot of people out there as well, for children specifically, I feel like it's very apt to say that our leader, our establishment did realize that, well, education cannot be put to a halt, right? There is no way that we can actually take months off from school. Initially, well, there was a lockdown for almost 2 weeks or something, but then people from within the schools, colleges, universities, even the students themselves, the parents realized that there has to be an alternative for, you know, to sort of come up with another idea of dispersing education to everyone in need, may they be adults or students. But before we get to what we are talking about, I want to take this moment to be really proud of PTV, Shazad, because we know a new channel is launching especially for this tele-education thingy, and it's going to actually offer contents for everyone who's watching.
Exactly, and that's great, and I hope that everybody is going to learn from it too as well, but not just PTV, ladies and gentlemen. As I always say, that it's always a public-private partnership as well. So there are a lot of other people who've jumped into it to make sure that that not just the youth or not just the elderly are being looked after, that for all of those kids who are going to be the future, who are the beacon for us, ladies and gentlemen, that they are getting well prepared, that they are getting that due education which they require in this time as well. Because I know for sure that mothers are going crazy. My daughter, you know, she used to go to school. She's not going to school these days. And yeah, so last night I was actually working with her on an Urdu book, and she almost forgot how to read Urdu as well, which was a little difficult for me to make her understand, you know, Tor or Jod, so, you know, all of that. So I think that it is every parent's responsibility to be involved, to be 100% involved in their kids' education. I think that this is that time as well where I've realized how important was it for me to sit down with my kids and with their books as well and make them understand. And I think that it's important. But not just that, ladies and gentlemen, today I think that this will be a milestone, because I don't think that any other channel, I'm sorry that I'm doing this as well, but I'm once again a Pakistani again, that nobody has actually highlighted what the private schools have done in these times as well. And I obviously Roots Millennium taking the lead, because of the fact that the kind of application they came up with was very handy. and it was very understandable. And just when I was trying to prepare for this show as well, I just went on to the application because it was it was on my wife's phone.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, I was like, okay, tell me what to do, and then we can even contact the teachers, we get our homeworks, we get our schedule.
Perfect.
So everything's on it. And I think that it is not even a problem for mothers, and it's because of the fact that everybody is using a smartphone these days, and everybody knows how to use applications. But yes, there was a question mark, and there was a question mark that not all parents are educated, not all parents hail from the backgrounds we are from as well. So what do they do in these times as well? How do they understand it? But ladies and gentlemen, we'll definitely hear it from the horse's mouth as well, because we have those pioneers over here who have made sure that they are going to leave nothing unturned so that their students can actually learn and learn the best as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky that we've been joined by somebody who's been awarded Tamga Imtiaz as well for his services. Ladies and gentlemen, he's the CEO, the Millennium Education. He's none other than Mr. Faisal Mushtaq, a very household name. Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Wa alaikum assalam, and thank you, and a good morning to you both.
Thank you very much for joining us. It's always wonderful to have you. But ladies and gentlemen, the only, well, not the only thing, but I think that this is something which I look forward to. Listening to Faisal Mushtaq is something which will actually make you fall or take inspiration from him. That's how he is, and I think that's how one needs to be as well. But not just that, ladies and gentlemen, he's got a fabulous team, and this lady I've always been in conversation with. We've been shooting at their schools too as well. We've done a lot of crazy stuff as well, just for the kids too. But ladies and gentlemen, she's actually the Director of Community and Outreach. She's none other than Miss Sabina Zakir. Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Thank you very much, and a very good morning to you, and thank you for having me again.
Thank you very much for joining us. Wonderful to have you. And ladies and gentlemen, we obviously want to know how parents feel about this application, downloading it, and then looking for the kids' homework, and then getting it done. We have a mother as well with us, ladies and gentlemen. She's none other than Miss Uzma Hayat. Hello, assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for having us here on this show. I feel privileged to be able to speak on behalf of the parental community on this platform. So let's see how it goes.
Don't worry, you're not the only one. I'm here with you too as well. So thank you very much for joining us. Let's get started. So Mr. Faisal Mushtaq, this was very early that you've actually initiated a process where we could teach our kids online, or for that matter, e-education. How did it all happen in such a short span of time?
Most importantly, I would like to thank both of you for hosting this important subject and the discussion today.
Thank you very much.
Because no other television channel has taken stock of it, and they are into the other engagements.
Indeed.
Firstly, and most importantly, for the audience in Pakistan to know, this is the biggest closure of schools, educational institutions in the world after the Second World War.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
It has never happened. This is unprecedented. Secondly, we also need to understand, we need to revisit the term called social contract.
Yep.
Absolutely.
The best classroom in the world is called the family in a society.
All right.
Now, many people say, what has happened to our classrooms? And I say, let's revisit the social contract. Family is the classroom.
Yep.
Now, what I need to say is that physics is in toys.
Yep.
Chemistry is in the kitchen.
Absolutely.
Biology is in the garden. Artificial intelligence is in your computers. And arts is in the coloring books. Now, you make me understand that what are the three components of education? It is the knowledge, skills, and value. I understand holistically within the country, without online education, knowledge may be compromised, but not skills and values. And when we talk about character building and values education, the whole country talks about taaleem and tarbiyat. So the very edifice of character is based on values. And where do they come from? To this institution called family. My message to parents is that at this time, our children, they need empathy more than exams. They need compassion more than comparison. They need your presence more than the presents. It's time to rethink the way we look after our children. This is a great opportunity that the planet Earth is closed for repairs. And here we should not panic and worry and load our children with testing.
Exactly.
Let them rest. It's time to reach out to their heads and their hearts. Now, coming to your original question, what do you do with online education?
Now, how did you do it all of a sudden, so we were in a lockdown, everybody was...
We did not do it all of a sudden, Shahzad and Shiza. 5 years ago, I started with this vision. And the background was that, is school an extension of home, or is home an extension of school? Now that's a question no one answered for me. So I envisioned that going forward we need a digital platform, we need a learning portal in which the parents, teachers and the children, they can be engaged in real time. So I started working with a Silicon Valley company and we set up this project office and vision. We have spent more than $1 million on developing this application and it took about 2 years with testing. Now what it is, that it's an app which is available to Android and iOS users, and then also it's a web-enabled portal. So now what students and the teachers, they upload the worksheets, the assignments, the collaborative work. The mothers and parents, they are facilitators, they are chaperoning. I must give credit to a lot of urban Pakistani parents. They are giving a lot of quality time. There may be certain limitations. Some parents say, oh, we need a printer. No, you do not need a printer. We intentionally want you to facilitate some sort of work in the copies if they are there, or the students can load back their assignment and then we provide feedback. So the teachers are in direct communication with the parents in real time. Then there is e-progress cards, their calendar, their daily communication, their assignments, their activity sheets, their timetable, their study schedule, study guidelines, syllabus, lesson plan. Little did we know that we will be subject to this pandemic, and that is how this learning management system called Matrix went into action. 13,000 parents as we speak are working on it on daily basis. Now we do also get some problems. The back-end server at the ComSets, that went down, you know, because the problems associated with internet. My final message is virtual or virus. You know, we really need to understand that it's both an opportunity within the adversity.
Well, that's great, and thank you very much for taking this initiative. And I think as parents, we're very confident that, you know, that our kid is actually not missing out on anything as well.
Absolutely.
But just one simple thing, because, you know, we just cannot be that serious. I know that that's how the situation is globally, but we need to ask you, why the name Matrix, though?
Well, it just basically we wanted to brand it with our education group.
All it reminds me about is Can You Reason?
Yeah, no, it's got nothing to do with the movie. It's called the Millennium Academic Technology, then Real-Time Information Exchange. So that's what it stands for, Millennium Academic Technology Real-Time Information Exchange. So it's just the way that we wanted to brand it. Also, children, they're very digi and they're very brand frenzy. So if they get hold of a name, something like Matrix, they own it. It's all about how you package the communication. If you look at it, forget about Matrix. Google Classroom, Shahzad and Shahzad, it's a free tool. But a lot many people, they don't think that it's free. Anyone can access it. Microsoft Teams is also another tool. Zoom is also another tool. But I also must remind your audience through this show, a lot of people think that email and WhatsApp and Facebook is online education. That ain't online education.
Thank you very much for saying that. And Shida, I know that you have a question, but very quickly I need to tell everybody one thing, and I'm very happy about it, that, you know, in a lot of shows I've said that, you know, back in 1850 when we used to see a car, you know, it'll be probably 60 horsepower, 50 horsepower, you know, and probably wooden wheels or something of that sort as well. But in 1850, the classroom actually still had a blackboard and all of that, you know, from which we went through as well. But now eventually there was a time when I started saying that, you know, the cars have actually converted into being all electric and no engines at all, but the classroom is still filled with blackboards, and that's what it is. I think that today is the day which makes me happy that finally our education institutions have taken up on this responsibility and are actually in line with the most educated systems available on the internet these days, ladies and gentlemen. And that's a hats off to you.
Absolutely. Mr. Faisal, everything you said is absolutely brilliant. I do want to dig in deeper to, you know, all the aspects of the key factors sort of, you know, that are running the Matrix app itself. One thing you said I absolutely admired, that the planet is off for, you know, sort of renovation, I want to say. What did you say? What was the exact word? Repairs, yes. Which is true, so let's just give time to that. But moving on to you, Ms. Sabina, speaking of the Matrix app, we know a bit of the details of it. But when you guys launched it, how were the parents receiving it? Were there some elements, let's say, who were not willing to be that participating in the whole process as well? Because when I remember, Shahzad, I don't know if you remember having a summer homework as well? Summer vacation homework, right? Yeah, I mean more. Okay, so the only thing that I remember after so many years of education is the time that my parents spent with me making those clay dinosaurs or making photo frames, or even writing, you know, essays and everything. So you very rightly said family and classroom are sort of, you know, they change places. They're sort of a cycle interconnected, and that is how we learn as well. So how did the parents receive it?
Well, to begin with, thank you very much for having me. And I endorse the idea that Shehzad said, that basically it is a revisiting of the entire social network.
Right.
And so when you revisit, so I'm from a generation which was a little different.
Yeah.
And all the young people around me, they give me energy, and now they give me a thought where I think, yes, some of the things that were done in my times were not all that bad either, which was, so everything doesn't need to be reinvented is what I really wanted to say.
All right.
And so I feel that the basic wheel is going back to basics also. Yes, we are communicating. Yes, our communication is different. At our institution, now that we are communicating in a different manner, because we started off early, and thanks to the vision, we started off early, so there was certain communication that was already going on with the parents.
Right.
So there are many, many ways that we were communicating, and it's been taken very well.
Yeah.
Number one, yes, there are difficulties. Nobody's going to shy away from them. And I think the beauty to anything is that it evolves.
Yep.
So everything evolves.
Right.
This thing is also evolving. I think we have a very positive, I would say, a very positive response, because the audience we are dealing with understand the usage. And when we were sort of criticizing that there's too much of technology and this telecommunication, really boomed in our country, I now see the advantage of it as well.
Absolutely.
So everybody has this telephone, and everybody sort of, even the children. So there was a time when, our blackboards or whiteboards were saying that it's a sunny day today. And now if you ask a student what it is, so I would say Shehzad's children would say it's partly sunny and partly cloudy, because they've really touched that app that you have in your phone from your dad or your mom. So they are far ahead also.
Absolutely.
So if the parent feels a little insecure, their children are not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are in our institute, they are already addressed, they understand. You talk to a child, he'll answer the thing in a different way. You
Right.
talk to a mother, and a little bit of anxiety that she might be facing, because our dads are revisiting the role as well. Like, badi hasi, it gives me, sometimes a smile, and it says, okay, so if you're talking to a father, he would say, Abdullah, which class are you in? And so he has to ask the child. Absolutely, the mother knows it. So
This happened to
yes,
me twice as well.
Yes, it does. You were being honest here. So yes, there is a revisit. So communication at all levels is improving, ma'am.
Right,
I would
absolutely.
like to say.
No, but I'm sorry that I'm interjecting, but there's a problem over here. So, ladies and gentlemen, when we used to go to school, we used to have sections like A, B, or C.
Yeah.
Now, imagine that you're stepping into a school where it's like Zurich, Sweden. I mean, how would you remember which country or which city my daughter's going to? I think that gets a little difficult, but for mothers, because it's a daily thing, they can get through with it as well.
No, I'm not trying to really, but I'm just trying to say this is how it happens.
Yeah, but I felt it that way.
Invariably with every parent. Well, the way we communicate is, we're always available for our parent. It's an open door. It was an open door policy, and now it's an open communication policy.
Right.
So we have whole teams who address this, from the school side, from the corporate side, and we are apt. I think I wouldn't say that we've reached there, because there's always innovation, there's always learning. I would say we're doing a pretty good job. And allow me to say, please, that when we say that there are doctors and there are mashallah, our army men, we are so proud of. They're fighting. I feel that there's always one segment that my society sort of neglects, or maybe doesn't focus too much on, are the teachers. The teachers are playing a very vital role. Please remember to respect that.
Absolutely.
And while they're undergoing, most of our women are urban like your good self.
Right.
And they are working like your good self. You're here in the morning doing something, and you have a family that's going to be needing your time as well. So when I say that, I feel that the teachers need to be respected.
Of course.
And I would like to take this opportunity to salute that badge that is doing their job in these testing times.
So, Sabina, there's no denying that, of course, teachers have that status that need to be respected. But now coming back to, the collaborative effort between families and the school itself, I feel like, because I have siblings as well, and I myself went through a very progressive, we'll say, stage of learning from my nursery to, all my university years as well. I feel like I did see all those phases of Blackboard and then LMS and whatnot.
Going to university.
Yeah, I'm still learning, to be honest. So the thing is, Ms. Osma, you being a parent, I want to know, because there were times when there was only this one day in an entire year, parent-teachers meeting, that is the only time you were going to see the teachers and ask about the progress or the report of your child, which sometimes would be, sort of misunderstood or misunderstated as well because of all the, attention that the teacher needs to give to 40 or even more people. But now you have hands-on access to the kind of information that just, child, the results that he's producing. In your phone, how are you taking this process?
First of all, I would like to say that it wasn't easy for the parents to take it. But yes, we as parents need to understand our responsibilities as well, that we have to look at it as something that is evolving, in fact, something that has happened, and it's there for our facilitation. And yes, when we had this app, we were told that we need to, it was communicated through SMS and through notices as well, that we need to get this app downloaded. So we all started on this as parents, that we wanted to have this downloaded on our phone. Why? Because we wanted to be in touch with the school and stay connected. And to know what was happening in the classrooms, basically, with our students being there from 8 a.m. till 2:30. We wanted to know what classwork they were doing and what assignments they were given and what the diary would be, so that when we come back at in the evening and sit with them, we would know that what they did throughout the day. Because to be honest, the kids these days, I mean, if you turn around and say, okay, so how was your day? Okay.
Yeah.
What did you do? Nothing. So it was very important for us to have that connection with the school. And calling, we would come back at about 5:30 or 6 o'clock, and it wasn't easy. So yes, it's the best connection that we have, and we feel proud of it.
Thank you very much for saying that. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't know, I think I've observed this thing as well, that in the newer generations, they're very brief in their responses. Hey, how was your day today? Okay. So that's it. They do not say anything beyond that, but that's fine. But now, as a mother, what I would love to ask you over here is that I know that even for mothers, it's very difficult these days. Earlier, since you're a mother of 3 kids, and are all of them going to school?
Yes, they are.
All right, so see, that's fabulous. So imagine that 3 kids going to different classes and being attended by different teachers is a very different story. But for a single mother or for a mother, just like that, teaching 3 kids on the same application at the same time, don't you think gets a little difficult?
No, actually, that's the beauty of this application, that in just a click away, you can switch the profile of every child. So there would be a profile of your kids. Like my son is called Heather, Moise and Iman is my daughter. So what I would do is that click on Heather and then switch profile and click on Moise. So I would know what Heather has done all day and what numbers he got in his assignments as well.
So there's no hiding anymore.
So yeah, there isn't. I mean, the kids would come back and say that, oh, we had a test, how was it? It was okay. So, I mean, it's just a click away.
Oh, wow, that's brilliant. But Shahzad, I feel like we are getting the parents' perspective, and that is great to actually see that you guys are, up for the change as well. But I want to learn how the teachers are actually taking this app as well. Are they really willing to, be available and be there for help of extra hours as well? Are they really willing to make the extra worksheets and, sort of engage the students even when the schools are closed? This is what we will be talking about to the CEO of the Millennium Education System himself right after this very short break. Shahzad, you have something to say?
Exactly. Just adding on to what Shiza said, ladies and gentlemen, because at this point of time when we see that everybody is going or moving towards newer solutions, I think that it is going to have an impact on human resource. And obviously, they might have to lessen or probably send a few teachers back home as well, just because of the fact that the burden is not too much. But how does it, or how do you think that the parents are going to probably reply to that? That needs to be a hard one, but yes, that's how it is. Good morning, we'll be back.
Basic education is the right of every child. Today, some 168 million children are in child labor, deprived of education. Every child, without discrimination, deserves access to a quality education. Basic education is the right of every child.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. For everybody who just got tuned into PTV World, you watching World this morning, and I'm Chiza Hashmi and Shahzad Khan. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we've actually been joined by the pioneers of e-learning as well, who've made sure that every kid who's at home and not attending school is actually learning something new every single day.
Absolutely, and before the break we were speaking about, we actually have a lot of perspectives on the show here today, and we sort of explored and discovered the perspective where parents are actually enjoying and learning the journey of this e-learning too, on just the expense of their mobile phones as well on this Matrix app by the Millennium.
That's not the only expense though, but yeah.
Okay, well, there's a web portal as well. But, well, now we want to talk about the teacher's side. Mr. Faisal, there must be, of course, you have an amazing staff, you have a large number of faculty members as well. But two parts of this question. First of all, how are they sort of taking this? Are they ready to be available every time or whenever they're supposed to be? Are they ready to put up the extra hours to help and, create new content to engage the students? And number two, because of course I do realize among this pandemic a lot of companies do have to unfortunately let go for a lot of their employees. Are you doing that too?
So let me answer. Let me give a clear perspective, because you see the problem as a young Pakistani that I've faced is that we lack clarity.
Okay.
Parents, our parents, they were digital immigrants.
Yeah.
My mom and dad, they had immigration into technology.
Okay.
Teachers and young learners today, they are digital natives. They are born into technology. The other generation, they had immigration into technology. That's why they're called millennials. Second question, that will technology replace the teacher? This debate and discussion has been going on for the last 100 years.
Yes.
The conclusion is, I walk across the communities around the world, the conclusion is, teacher shall not be replaced by technology. Only the teachers, those who do not use technology as a tool to facilitate, shall be replaced by the ones, those who do use technology.
Right. Brilliant.
Now, when you come about the teaching fraternity, we both have a challenge and an opportunity. Some teachers are teachers by design, some are teachers by default.
Right.
Some are teachers by choice, some are teachers by chance.
Yeah.
Our fraternity across the urban centers in Pakistan, and we've got semi-urban centers as well, they've responded, most of them have responded very well, and some, of course, they struggle as well. So sort of some, for example, a language teacher, Urdu language teacher, who's been least interested. So the concept has been traditionally in the schools, this has got something to do with computer studies teacher. This is the computer class, this is the IT class. ICT is now a cross-cutting subject.
Right.
Pakistan and our fraternities, we need to understand that information communication technology is not a standalone subject. You need those information communication technology skills for English language,
Absolutely.
for Urdu, for science, for Islamiyat, for history, Pakistan studies.
For generally moving on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Some people may say, why do we need to have ICT skills for Pakistan studies?
Right.
That is why on the Google map you get the maps wrong when we talk about the Pakistani Kashmir.
Yeah.
You know, these are these sensitive issues.
Absolutely.
Education is the fundamental edifice on which the whole, you know, what do you call it, the moral and the social contract
Right.
as being a citizen is based. I always say in my lectures around the world that 220 million Pakistanis living in Pakistan are not citizens, they are subjects. Education and literacy is the single common denominator which transforms subjects into citizenry.
Wow.
That's
Now
brilliant.
talking about how are we dealing with the people, we are a huge national network, the
Yes.
third largest teaching and learning education group. Education is my passion. A lot of people, recently 3 years ago, there was this debate and a lot of people called us as a business. Oh, well, we are proud to be sustainable. Anything which does create profit is sustainable.
Yeah.
But I proudly say that we profit the society. And so passion, innovation and creativity, these are the common denominators which drive our company.
All right.
And so within our company, we have German language education, we have Chinese language. I'm the largest Chinese language teaching school of Asia. I'm the Microsoft first mentor school of the country. So doing so, we have robotics education, STEM education, we have singing teachers, music teacher, we have language teachers, speech. So now when you talk about sustainability, all of a sudden with the pandemic, the entire sustainability model is under question.
Yeah,
so we are struggling. So far, you know, we are managing how we have to. But going forward, if you talk about so much of innovation, so much of creativity, because I have been a prisoner of my own conscience, I wanted to give my Pakistani students the best of the world. So my philosophy was, if you can't go to the world, I bring the world to you.
Wow.
32 years of legacy and history this institution has.
Yes.
It was founded originally by my mom. I'm the next generation. Trust me, our alumni has gone to Harvard, Princeton, Yale, MIT, Dartmouth, Columbia. You ask the international community, schools and employers and the development agencies and even civil and armed forces, how they have contributed.
Yes.
So we are not just a private sector school, we are a social change-making organization. And I really do not like the fact that when society treats us just as a private enterprise or a business,
Right.
we must celebrate our Pakistani success stories and
Absolutely.
heroes across all industries, across all services. So my message is, a doctor is the doctor, whether in the public sector at PIMS or whether in the private sector at Kalsoom or Qaid-e-Azam Hospital.
course.
And a teacher is the teacher, and so is a media person like you is a media person, whether you work for PTV or you work for ATV.
And thank you very much for saying that. But
Both
then
are
at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, we are still asked, what else do you do? Well, you should actually stop asking the question.
But we do a lot of things like study and stuff.
Yeah, so very quickly, I just want to move on to Ms. Sabina over here.
Can I just
Sure.
add into
Why
what
not?
Mr. Mushtaq was just saying?
Yeah.
I just want to say that all the doctors and the media persons and the good language that you speak, madam, are created by teachers that were around.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of
So
course.
that's why for generation and generation, there has been this teacher that has made people and personalities that have
Absolutely.
transformed the nation, like the gentleman just said.
Yeah, which is why, you know, the next question was actually about teachers as well. And, you know, since we've asked a mother whether how is she, you know, kind of learning to use this management learning system, which we call Matrix as well. But other than that, how important, you know, since you mentioned that, you know, ICT skills are very important as well. So do you think that Roots Millennium is actually imparting ICT skills on their own towards their teachers as well, so that they can probably be in contact with the parents and then giving the right homework for the kid?
Training the
Thank you so
trainers.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for asking that. Let me give you how it works.
Yep.
Number one is, before I move on, for the parents, we've been at it trying to communicate to our parents for it's now over years, that please download the app. Don't take it lightly. Please, it is a medium of communication.
Yeah.
Right.
And we've been at it. myself, Sir, and everybody else has been going around trying to tell them. Now it's become a necessity. Having said that, as this vision was given about 5 years ago, so the prospect of the entire company was put on training. So training is a major part in our part of the world, at least in my organization.
Right.
We have a big department that looks after the training, so we train everybody that comes on.
Right.
So what happens is the ICT gets involved with every subject. It is not a snapping thing for the Millennium Educations. When I say that, and I say that with a little bit of pride also, because it has been in our classrooms. We've been teaching our teacher, and we have need-based teaching. We have necessary teachings that are required to get people onto the technology. We've been telling our teacher how to make her class more tech savvy. So
just to add, that 2008, one of the first things that I did, I went to Intel Education in Karachi. I reached out to the president of Intel Corporation and I authored Asia's first ICT skills and curriculum. Why? Because as a young Pakistani growing up, I went to very basic public sector schools, but good schools. I went to Army Public School in Rawalpindi, and then after that I went to Cadet College. What were we taught? Computer, M-O-S-E, mouse, W-A-N, WAN.
What does CPU stand for?
What does CPU stand for? Input, process, output. Ridiculous. I am the first Pakistani to author a Roots Intel Joint Information Communication Technology curriculum. At that time, $500,000 was spent. I invested. Copyrights are with Intel Corporation and myself, and we created that ICT. It was, this project was a case study for India. It was a case study for Philippines, South Korea, and Malaysia. I presented those case studies in the region. And then the president co-authored the welcome note, and that book is only available to my students. Once the government of Punjab, many years ago, they asked me if the government wants to share my information communication technology curriculum. And I said, for nation building, yes, I'll share it. So that is the kind of a comparative advantage I've given to the students of the education group. Information communication technology, as it is a game changer, it is the common denominator
across
in all
the classrooms.
subjects as well.
And allow me to say,
Brilliant.
if Mr. Mushtaq has just sort of touched upon it, he not only authored the booklet for the students, there's a guide for every class teacher.
Oh, brilliant.
So it was the primary. We have not only said the secondary, face-to-face teaching is there, and it's been going on in our institution, and we've been pushing it down, and we've been saying no, every day is a struggle, but every day. So this perspective where we have these smart TVs in our classrooms, where if a teacher wants a certain thing to be shown, even in mathematics or in the English language, she uses that tool.
They say give the child the tool, not just teach the child a tool. So the journey which the parents, teachers and students have taken started from the blackboard, it went on to the whiteboard, then it came up to the smart boards, and now it is on the web board. So this is a digital journey.
And I'm very thankful for that as well, but Shiza's got a question.
Yeah, I do actually. You know, to my better understanding, because I want to understand how the Matrix app is sort of different than the regular LMS that, let's say, I have in my university or something. So, Ms. Usma, moving on to you, of course, there might be online classes, there might be video lectures of all the, updates and schedules, but I'll sort of give you a condition or to respond to. So let's say there's a worksheet for Iman that probably you don't understand how to deal with, answer one of the questions.
Or fractions, something.
Yeah, anything at all. So, but you need to do it in that day as well. There's a deadline, let's say. So immediately, through that app, you reach out to the teacher, asking the issue, and then they respond in time. How does that happen?
Okay, what happens is that we have, it depends on what subject it is.
Okay.
If, like Shazad just said, that if it's a math subject, the maths teacher would be available there. So we have a discussion tab on the side where we click it, and we start communicating with the teacher. So if Iman is not understanding fractions or say multiplications or say any kind of concept which is not clear to her, the teacher is available there.
Okay.
And we can ask her, and then she would be there explaining the process,
Okay.
whatever is not understandable by the child.
Wow,
Okay.
and that's great. And
Yes.
That makes
beautiful
sense.
as well.
Individually. Individually, if I
Yeah, well, yeah, that's something I know, but you know, I actually wanted it, you know, I wanted the parent to actually say it to everybody else as well, because that's the same thing we encountered yesterday as well, and that's how we got to a solution. But very quickly, I need to ask, how many downloads have you had so far?
13,500.
15,000. And what's the total number of students?
About 15,000.
So how are you
Okay.
reaching out to all of those who are left out?
First of all, our server went down.
Okay.
The entire server, hosted with an external organization, Comset, you know, I need to make them accountable. It went down. We need to rebuild the entire server.
All right.
So we are reaching out to everyone on daily basis, but at the same time, we don't want to push it because my philosophy is empathy. Again, you did not ask me the critical question. There are a lot of parents up there. There's absolute panic because you see, you have to understand the cultural and social practices, joint family system, puppo, chacha, taya, and always say, don't make comparisons of the children within the family.
Yeah.
Now, my message to the Pakistani parents, those who are listening is, now it's very important for them to understand that this is a time for INGs. You need to help them with sleeping in the morning, with reading, with playing, with praying, and with playing, with a lot of activities which, you know, the sleeping, reading, discussing, talking, you know, so you need to spend time with them. Now, what do you need to do? Make sure the sleep and time, not that the children are watching the new money heist at night with the parents. So children need to go in bed in time, and they somehow, you know, you need to have a regimented timetable.
Exactly.
Then they need to, if you want to take them to the garage, show them how you change the oil of the car. They don't know where the water goes in for the wiper. They have not been into the kitchen for a whole generation. We have been working under the social and the community pressures. You will be amazed that you talk about urban parents. Urban parents these days, I'm saying something very challenging. I know I may get beating for this. Urban parents are not giving their children presents. They're giving their children presents. Your children do not need your presents, your iPhones, your Dubai tickets, your glorified lifestyles. They need your presence. And whereas the children in the middle classes and in the rural community, they are spending time, but that time is also disfranchised with the institution. So my message is that please help them regiment with what they are doing, spend quality time, age appropriate discussion, and validate their ideas. You said the children are giving short answers. The reason they're giving short answers is because you're not talking about a topic and a theme which is of interest to them. So build on your question onto the age appropriate topic and a theme. Validation means that you need to listen, or you need to see and feel and moderate the act that they want to do. And play Pithu Gol Garam, and play Home Garden River Sea Ocean, and play Ludo, and play Monopoly, and play Kavauda and Chidiya.
Or play chess as well for that matter. But thank you very much for reminding me that I missed out on an important question. But this is another question which I think is very important from parents' perspective. And as soon as we told them or uploaded it on our pages, they said that this is something which we need to ask you. So everybody is actually making sure that everybody is getting their due relief, which is important for them at this point of time. Is there any due relief you will be giving to parents in terms of fee bills as well?
Well, none that I could...
See, I didn't miss out on an important
I mean,
one.
it's a very important subject for the parents. Parents do ask this question, what is our fault if the school is closed? Why should we be paying the tuition fee? And also, especially to our education system, they say, Faisal Saab, with all the jazz that you have, this thing, look, I do accept and understand that being an innovative, not just 21st century school, or 21 and a half century school, I'm a prisoner of my own conscience. Quality as a price, it is a sustainable private sector economy. That fee that you pay goes as a remuneration, as a salary, it goes to the landlord, it goes to the tax collection, so it's a whole economic cycle.
All right, so I think we'll have to do another show on that as well, and that's how it is. But ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky that they have actually taken our time and have joined us to let other people know what they're doing within the digital arena of education. You guys are doing a wonderful job once again
so much
as well.
for coming.
Please make sure to write to us on our Facebook page, which is with the name of
Well This Morning.
On Twitter.
Well This Morning without a G.
On Daily Motion.
Well, it's Well This Morning.
On YouTube.
PTV World, but find us with the name of our show, Well This
Yeah,
Morning.
and the fabulous repeat's going to be at
5 past 11 p.m. tonight.
Till the next time, 1, 2, 3.
Good morning. Take care.
Look up.
Magla Hills, the heaven of Islamabad. The abode of God, a place where you can explore your soul and meet power of natural elegance of mountains. Spread over